This might be my most interesting Amazon return yet. And I say that because not because of the bag. Like, the bag makes sense, the microphone being out of the bag, the antenna, the RT95 box looks fine. This box right here, this is the mystery. And what it says, without even looking at it, is 12-month warranty. Not satisfied, please email us, support@dloveg.co. I don't know who D is, but D definitely loves G. And if you look at the rest of the label, it's going to be a little hard to see. Let's just get it out of the bag here. There's the D Love G. There's what I hope is an RT95. That's the right mic for an RT95. And then this is most of an antenna, most of a dual band mag mount antenna. And Retevis does sell the RT95 radio with a mag mount antenna. So this is probably one of those. We'll test the microphone out in a little bit, but I still, hold on. Baofeng charging interrupted. I still want to know what this is. So D Love G upgraded Snap-on D ... protectors. So the Amazon description has a lot more in it than Snap-on D something protectors. Glossy black, new item. Like, it doesn't say what any of this is. So maybe they reused the box and this is the mag mount. Maybe I'm getting all excited about nothing, or maybe there's some mystery in here that will be interesting. Nope, it's the mag mount. Okay, this is not the box that the mag mount is supposed to come in, but I am happy that I have all of the pieces, because what am I going to do with a whip and no mag mount to attach it to? And for 20 bucks, this thing works fine. I mean, I have one sitting on the roof of my RV right now. It's connected to my ICOM 705, and it's been working fine. As long as there aren't any real breaks going on, there ain't really much to complain about. Okay, well, that was somewhat anticlimactic, but I was all excited there for a minute. Okay, antenna aside. I'll make sure the antenna works before we put it in the kit to move it along. There is our microphone. That's all good, but what we want to see is why did they return it? Apparently they didn't D-Love G it, whatever that was. All right, there is the radio. It's a little dusty, dirty on it. Still has the screen protector on it. Doesn't look like it got used all that much. Packing material, programming cable, the fuse. So we've got parts. I don't necessarily have all of the parts here, but they at least opened it up and gave it a shot. I've got one screw. I've got a screw loose. I've got there's the other screw. Packing material. I got a twisty tie. I got another lock washer, manual programming cable. Let's put her through her paces. Oh, no power cord. I'm missing a power cord. That's going to make it a little hard to test if I didn't already have other power cords. And this is where some of the expense of doing this work comes in, is because I've got to make sure that these things are whole before they go out the door. Because, I mean, I could sell it at a discount without the power cord, or I could put a power cord in it. I'm going to put a power cord in it. That's what I do. Those back here. All right, she powered on. So we have a fuse and we have no power cord to put the fuse in. Plug in the antenna first. Some goo on it. Maybe I should be wearing rubber gloves or something. And I want to plug in the antenna because I'm going to be testing transmit and everything. Well, she receives. That's good. Okay. That's not me. That's the good old-fashioned squelch stuff. Squelch is on level 3. Squelch was on off, and we had plenty of open squelch stuff, and now squelch is on 4. So the squelch circuit works, which I had no doubt. Why was this returned? All right, transmit works. KM9G testing. Let's try. Is that it? That's my all-star node. KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. KM9G testing.
Audio level is low. There is a mic gain firmware out there for these things, but do not do it. These things are very weird when it comes to firmware updates, and there's nothing official. There's just halves of firmware. And even though it looks like it's one unit, this actually does have a detachable head. And occasionally there is a detachable head kit that comes up for sale for these guys. But You need a firmware for this, and you need a firmware for this, and usually there's only one half of it, so don't do it. Function menu, mic. Mic has 3 settings. We'll put it on setting 3. Go back and we exit. KM9G, testing mic setting 3.
Audio level is normal. KM9G, testing mic setting 3.
That's all you got to do. Okay, so we've tested transmit, we've tested receive. That is VHF. Let's switch it to the B band. KM9G testing on 146.5.2. And we're getting a good signal out on 146.5.2, so she's working as far as that goes. Let's do the mic check.
WNBC testing.
That's somebody else testing.
Joker Island repeater. Audio level is pretty good.
He's got pretty good audio. All right, so now we're off of that so we won't hear other people testing. All right, so that all works. Screen all works. Everything looks good. We got to test programming, and then we got to double check the antenna, and she's good to go. I don't see, I always say this, I don't think anybody needs to have a particularly special good reason in order to return one of these. They just, they didn't like it. It's black and I wanted a white radio. It doesn't match my boat as well as it should. Things like that are perfectly fine. I got it. It's supposed to be 25 watts, and these things are notoriously 20 watts. And okay, it's still, for 20 watts, it's still a fantastic price. Let's check power output, and let's check programming, and we're good to go. All right, things get messy real fast in a ham shack when you're working on stuff. This is my Surecom SW102, which I am going to use as my power testing device, and we're going to use it to test the antenna at the exact same time. And as long as the antenna presents something in a decent range, I'm going to be okay with it because it's sitting on a wooden desk and not magnetically attached to a ground plane like it's supposed to be in its normal environment. So I expect the SWR to be higher. I just don't know how much higher. If it's like 9-to-1 or something, yeah, there's a problem. Probably just means that the meter is pegged and the SWR is actually infinity and there's a dead short somewhere. But if the SWR is, 4 or 5, gotta have a little grace sometimes, Like, I put this thing in a place where it wasn't supposed to do the thing, and it didn't do the thing right. It must be bad, not me. All right, the meter is attached. Let's go to 70 centimeter call. And then what do we have for our power setting? All right, high power, 70 centimeters on this weird antenna. 2-to-1 SWR, not bad. 25 watts, not bad. Okay, let's do, this is 146.5.2, and we're looking for, there we go, 6.2 and 9 watts. That's definitely a problem with the setup. So now we've got a big old dummy load in line, and let's test it out again. There we go, 1.09, 20 watts. That's better. So now I've got to do some more investigation on the antenna. We've now got the antenna in its natural environment, and a ham in a ham's natural environment with chaos. This is my battery box. I built this a long time ago, and she is still holding up pretty good. I will leave a link in the description for how I built this, but that makes the radio run happy, and we've still got the same testing device there. So let's get her turned on. And we're still on 146.5.2 on high power, 2-to-1 SWR, and 17 watts. Okay, let's switch back to 446. And let's test it out. 1.04, 26 watts. And that's the thing about dual band antennas. They just aren't all that great. I do have another one of these antennas that is currently on the roof of the RV. I'm gonna plug into that one and run the same test just to have some kind of comparison. All right, so this ought to be interesting. I've actually never tested this before. Let's do the same kind of conditions, frequency input, and actually, I don't even know. I've never done that before. Here's this call button over here, 438-450-000. Do what I tell you. There we go. Now if I hit call, it should take me to 446. It does. Okay, cool. I hadn't done that before. Let's do our SWR test on this antenna. Yeah, it's already showing high on the 705 on 70 centimeters. SWR. Let's run the test again. Okay, so we're somewhere in that same range. So we'll test it out anyway, just to be sure. Same antenna connected to the same power meter as it was on the 705. And we're testing 27 watts on 446 at 2-to-1 SWR, okay. And 2.5-to-1 SWR on 146.520. So some people think they don't have ads on Windows 11 but there are ads right in your start menu. First off, International Puzzle Day, I didn't ask for that. That's an ad for all of these things. If I type in RT for RT95, RT, Russian Television Network. Did I install a Russian Television Network app on this computer that I barely use? No. I'm looking for RT95 or Retevis programming software. All right, we have the Retevis software loaded finally. Yes, I'd like to read from the radio. I haven't set up anything other than just pushing the button, but she's reading. And so far, so good. Okay, programming is complete. What do we got? Anything? Anything in here? Anything at all? Let's add a channel. And we'll call it
146.52. Yeah, this is the joy of software. Channel spacing, it kind of doesn't matter because this is a programmed channel. I don't know why it's asking me that. TX power is high, no encode, no nothing. Let's give it a TX frequency, 146.52. And we'll leave it on scan add, and we'll hit OK.
And then we will write to the radio. There it is. Write to radio. Do you wish to continue? The button got stuck. Okay, and we're writing. And the radio agrees that we are writing. Progress is happening. All right, it should reboot. It rebooted. Oh, that's loud. Still. All right, we need to go in and change this into memory mode. All right, so that's channel 1, 146.52 is the one that we programmed in there, but I want to see the name. And I forget where that is. Channel menu? Well, first, I got to go back and... I don't mind the beep, but the obnoxiously loud beep? There we go. So power's high like I told it to. We didn't change any other settings. Name is 2-meter call like we programmed it to be. There it is, display frequency. And I want that to be name. Now when we go out, it's going to say 2-meter call. And it says 2-meter call. Everybody's happy. Okay, this radio is ready to be rehomed. And I frequently get in some returned radios that I can then verify need repairs or don't need repairs. In this case, no repair necessary, and get it back out the door. So if you would like a radio like this from me that's been recertified as good to go, there is a link in the description down below where you can get some more information on that, as well as what this radio would be new, straight from Amazon if you want to get a new one, and some information on the tester, and this super cool case for the tester as well. I hope all of this stuff has been wonderfully educational, if not entertaining at the very least, and I'll see you over here in the next one. Thanks for being awesome.